Hi everyone, welcome to Abstemiously John. I'm John, licensed clinician, change facilitator, and creator of high-quality wellness content. I'm happy to be continuing our series on nicotine, and in this video, I'll discuss what it's doing inside your brain and body, but more importantly, why are you still smoking or vaping, and how can you cut down or stop today? I also share some professional experience from my counseling practice, and a little bit about my personal journey managing these biological and emotional changes while quitting myself. So like or comment below, check out the entire nicotine series, and please subscribe for more. Nicotine is an addictive stimulant drug produced naturally in many plants throughout the nightshade family. It has the ability to affect your breathing, memory, emotions, and heart rate, all of which are important to your survival and things you would probably want to keep stable. Although the biology is not fully understood, researchers have observed nicotine's impact on several neurotransmitters. In case you didn't already know, neurotransmitters are chemicals released in the space between neurons and carry messages throughout the body. Nicotine has shown changes in acetylcholine, dopamine, glutamate, and serotonin, just to name a few. Nicotine is a cholinergic chemical acting as an acetylcholine agonist. This means it has the ability to activate receptors which produce and regulate acetylcholine. Keep in mind, substances acting as an agonist increase activity of receptors, while antagonists decrease activity. After being consumed, nicotine quickly enters your bloodstream and depolarizes these acetylcholine receptors. Specifically, the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors found throughout your brain and body. This results in manipulation of other neurotransmitters and biological functions, while also contributing to the perceived feelings of mental stimulation. Dopamine is another neurotransmitter released and manipulated during this process. Dopamine fluctuation is observed in most rewarding or addictive behaviors as it makes you feel good. The newer research seems to indicate this neurotransmitter may also be involved in memory by helping you encode whatever you are doing at the time of its release due to it being perceived as rewarding and therefore important to your survival. Essentially, this chemical record button is pushed after doing something which appears rewarding, then helps you associate people, places, and things involved, leading to future triggers and urges, thus increasing the likelihood of you doing it again. This process is great for keeping you alive in the wild, to drive the motivation needed to get a promotion, or a diploma, or beat your best track time, but not great when trying to change a bad habit, especially relating to chemical reward. It's important to note you don't need to ingest psychoactive substances to cause increases in dopamine, as it can be released from gambling, sex, eating, risk-taking, and many other activities. Nicotine is especially effective at releasing dopamine in the reward pathway of your brain while simultaneously increasing glutamate to further speed up this release. Simultaneously, there is a decrease in inhibitory chemicals to prevent any decrease in dopamine levels while nicotine is present in your system. As part of your body's natural response to stress, or in this case the presence of nicotine, norepinephrine is released and affects the way your brain pays attention and responds to stressful events. This may contribute to the perceived stimulation, arousal, and feelings and associations with stress relief. A key question I like to ask my clients is what really happened to the stress? Most likely, nicotine did not pay your bills or improve any of your relationships, as it's not great at problem solving. It only gives you the perception it can solve your problems. While present in your body, nicotine also boosts serotonin, which is a chemical responsible for mood regulation, behavior, memory, sleep, and more. While all this is happening, the effects on the peripheral nervous system can increase heart rate, blood pressure, and activity in your gastrointestinal tracts, which is why some people may use the restroom after or during nicotine consumption. It also causes a release of epinephrine, which further enhances this activity. Frequent manipulation of these regulatory chemicals will inevitably desensitize neuroreceptors, increasing the body's tolerance after repeated use. Because of this, your body adjusts to maintain homeostasis, and in paradox with most other substances, nicotine causes the number of some receptor sites to increase rather than decrease. This is important because not only do receptors become less sensitive to nicotine, as I mentioned, but the number of receptor sites increases to accommodate the high levels of stimulant in the body. This increase in receptor sites is a process called upregulation. If you've seen my other videos, like the opioid videos, you may already be familiar with downregulation, which is when receptor sites decrease. Upregulation, however, is when receptor sites increase. Imagine these receptors as a hungry crowd. and then imagine this crowd suddenly doubles. This phenomenon may explain why people have intense cravings and why more nicotine is needed to activate the increased number of dopamine receptors. This could also help explain the intense cravings, tolerance, withdrawal, and other facets of the nicotine use disorder, in addition to why you may feel so terrible when trying to stop. Someone who regularly consumes nicotine to repeatedly cause these physiological changes is getting the chemical reward from the nicotine and not natural rewards like scoring a goal, getting a good test grade, or spending quality time with family or friends. When the level of reward chemicals drop below this new synthetic baseline, the absence now mimics something close to synthetic failure, depression, and desperation. As a result, you may feel uncomfortable emotionally and possibly physically. As you detox, these feelings may intensify as your body's been tricked into believing your survival now depends on nicotine. Withdrawal symptoms can start within 2 hours, since nicotine half-life is about an hour and a half, and lasts on average 2 weeks to 2 months, peaking 2 to 7 days after cessation. Physical and emotional withdrawal symptoms can include cough, fatigue, strong craving for nicotine, changes in appetite, irritability, anger, anxiety, depression, difficulty concentrating, dizziness, restlessness, impatience, insomnia, headaches, sweating, constipation, chills, and more. Over the years, a common timeline of symptoms has been observed by many, but differs person to person. About an hour and a half after your last dose of nicotine, levels will begin to drop, and you'll begin to crave more. After 12 hours, strong physical cravings, irritability, restlessness, feelings of depression and hopelessness may present. At 24 hours, negative emotions like irritability and anger may increase. After 48 hours, many experience headaches and insomnia and increased appetite. By day 5, the nicotine has for the most part left your body, and the cravings should be peaking by now. A cough may also develop as the lungs try to recover. At about a week, moderate and frequent cravings, mood issues, attention issues, and other symptoms may persist. By weeks 2 to 4, appetite will begin to stabilize, along with cough and negative emotions. After about 5 weeks into this journey, the physical and emotional symptoms will have dissipated or improved for the most part. People quitting nicotine should note, for years to come, triggering events or social settings may cause urges which will require a diverse toolbox of coping skills to maintain abstinence indefinitely. Although the biology of nicotine is complex, and the body's response to stopping abruptly makes it challenging to stay stopped, it's important you know a few things. First, not everyone will experience all or any withdrawal symptoms. Also, human brain plasticity allows the mind to readjust over time, and for the most part will improve cognitive functioning and regulate physiological changes caused by nicotine use. You could also take many steps to reduce the impact of these challenges by informing yourself of what's happening and developing productive coping skills to call upon when experiencing triggers and urges. For more about nicotine use disorders, how you can start quitting today, and more importantly, stay stopped for good, please watch the rest of my nicotine series. Thank you again, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.